It's two dudes with attitudes, a wrestling podcast with Ryan Enjoys Wrestling and MW. Oh, and this is our WWE edition where we're going to talk all things Raw and NXT. We already did SmackDown on our last episode. We did a Friday one, so if you have not heard it, go check it out. We're going to do more episodes like that. But Ryan, what's in the box, Ryan? What's in the box?
Yeah. This damn crate, man. It's been the talk of the internet all week. Do not open until Elimination Chamber. So I guess Nick Aldis is going to deal with it on SmackDown. He's going to send it back to, the guy in NXT, Robert Stone. He's going to get it too before everything runs out. And then
Robert Stone.
Isn't that his name? The new GM?
Yeah. He just sucks so much. But anyway, sorry.
I wish Ava would. I mean, he makes Ava look phenomenal.
Dang.
Yeah, he's not that good.
Hot.
Yeah. But this box was the talk of the town all week long. And I have a feeling it's going to be a huge letdown, but we'll get into it.
We're going to talk about it. What's in the box? Ryan, you ready to get this WWE episode started?
Yes, sir. Here we go.
Two dudes with attitudes. Let's go. Two dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast, shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all elite. The two dudes with the attitudes of bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
All right. So, yes, we are talking some Monday Night Raw. And you know what? I'm not going to start with the box. Let's not start with the box. Let's start with the actual opening. Because my favorite part of Monday Night Raw was the opening. And yes, it was a good Monday Night Raw. It had some highs. It had some confusion. It had some lows. And we're going to talk about probably all of those things. But it opened up with the Usos. And the Usos came out and they were about to yeet it all the way down the stage. And our savior, Paul Heyman, interrupted it and stopped it from ever happening. And I think my favorite part, Ryan, about this segment was the fact that the Usos literally just stood there the whole time. Like, they're not like Jay and Jay. It's like a vampire, can't come into your house unless you welcome them in. Like, they could not. They're like, we can't go down the steps without Uso and yeeting. Like, they were like, so they just stood there awkwardly with the fans, like, and I think one of my other favorite parts is the fact that I guarantee you now, people buy tickets to be in that aisleway so that they can like yeet with Jey Uso, and they probably had signs. Parents brought their sons and daughters who were so excited, and Paul Heyman shut that shit down, and those people never got to yeet or be on camera. It just brings a tear to my eye. Ryan. But the Vision came down, and basically after that, it led to a match with LA Knight and the Usos where they actually lost due to a tsunami and Bronson Reed. But then we had the Masked Man come out and lay Logan Paul out like he's Floyd Mayweather and ran away. Ryan, what do you think? I feel like the Vision felt a little bit hotter. They won a match that I didn't think they would win against LA Knight, who's supposed to be winning the Chamber, wink, wink, and the Usos, who are the tag team champions. And then Logan Paul all of a sudden gets laid out and he runs away, and you're kind of like 6'7", like what's going on here? But I thought it was a nice opening. I thought it was a good way to start off Raw.
I did too. And going back to what you were saying about the Usos, after they came out and yeeted for a minute and Paul Heyman interrupted, I forgot they were even in the segment because they cut their promo. Logan Austin Theory was talking, Paul Heyman was talking, Logan Paul was talking. And then LA Knight came out and he cuts a promo. And then like he mentioned the Usos. He was like, I haven't always had the best relationship with those guys. I was like, wait, what guys is he talking about? Like, what? Huh? And I was like, oh, right. The Usos are still just standing there in the audience the whole time. Like, never once did they try to climb in the ring or anything to like slowly walk down and nothing. They just stood there. It was really, really bizarre. Mm-hmm. But no, I did like the segment. I thought it was a good way to open the show. A different way. I do think the Vision is starting to find their way a little bit without Braun Breaker. I feel like it was kind of built around Seth Rollins at first, obviously, and then Braun Breaker kind of took over, and now they're trying to find their footing without Braun. And I think this week was a good step in the right direction with Logan Paul doing his thing, Austin Theory is still Austin Theory. I think he's kind of a joke. I think he's still holding this group down, but everyone else did their part. And I thought it was a fun segment, and I like that they got the win. I didn't think they were going to get the win. I thought this was like another match that Austin Theory is going to take a pin in, and it was a really good match and a really good way to open the show.
It was. Now, do you care about the Masked Man, and who do you think it is? Because I know there's a lot of people on the internet who are hoping who it is, and a lot of people on the internet who are just tired of this and saying, like, if it was Austin Theory and now it is, and who cares now? Type of vibe.
I think I'm just over masked men in general in WWE. We've seen it a lot over the last, it's like Triple H's favorite thing to do. I can't think of a good thing to do. Let's get a masked man to attack somebody, or somebody in a hoodie, and we'll have them attack somebody in the middle of the show. I'm kind of over that whole thing. As far as who it is, I mean, it's obviously, I don't think it's Seth Rollins under the mask.
You don't.
I think Seth Rollins is calling the shots. I think he's the puppet master, and I think there are people working for Seth Rollins. And the people that I think it could be is, I think maybe Grayson Waller. I think Seth Rollins maybe got in his ear, and he's like, hey, your boy just left you high and dry to go join this group. Maybe Grayson Waller's under the mask. I don't really know. But I do think they're working for – it's obviously a Seth Rollins way to destroy the Vision from within, or something along those lines. That's my theory. I don't think it's Seth under the mask, but I think he's involved.
Do you think it's this NWO theory? You've been hearing that they're doing a new NWO and
No, I don't think so. I don't. What are they going to do? Split up the Vision? Like have the NWO black and white, and the NWO, like we're going to have the Vision. Yeah, Logan Paul's Vision versus the Masked Man's Vision. Like, we don't need that. We got too many factions in WWE as it is, with Judgment Day and the Vision, and now we're going to split up the Vision and do two different Visions, and we don't need that. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's a way to bring Seth Rollins back to the WWE. I don't think he's technically medically cleared. I think this is a way to
not yet,
kind of drag that out a little bit to where he finally can be. But they need to advance it soon, because I'm getting bored with it.
Yeah, it's getting there. Something that confused me this week, and I was talking about it before we recorded on how we're really going to discuss this, because I'm still confused by it. Maybe you have more enlightenment. But Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan went at it in a backstage promo. They were interviewing Michael Cole, was interviewing one Liv Morgan. Dominik was there, and things were going fine. Then Stephanie Vaquer showed up and spoke nothing but Spanish. Dominik was relaying it in English, but I couldn't really hear what he was saying to Liv. He was like whispering it, but then he was also talking in Spanish right back to Stephanie Vaquer. And then Vaquer walks out of the building, and Liv Morgan instantly cries. Later on, she's still crying backstage, and Raquel had to take her out for a girls' night to cheer her up. What say you? Because from everything that I've seen since, because I've been trying to wrap my head around it, people were like really loving this segment about how it made her look vulnerable and how good it was. But why was she? I'm just very confused on what happened. Was she offended by the Spanish? Is she offended that Dominik can speak her language and she can't? Or was it the words that she said? I don't like. Why would Liv all of a sudden cry from words? She's like that bitch, and now all of a sudden she's crying from a Stephanie Vaquer like rant. I was very confused on what the happenings were here.
Yeah, I didn't like this segment at all. I thought this was my low point of the show. I thought it was oddly produced, because Michael Cole, Michael Cole was like hyping up this interview that he did with Liv Morgan, and he got like one question in before Stephanie Vaquer just barged in. He's like, he was hyping it up like he got this inside scoop of Liv Morgan. He didn't mention anything like we had a surprise visitor during the interview. It was just more hyping up this interview, and then that was awkward, and then just the overall delivery of it was awkward. Dominik coming in was great. It's always great to see Dom, but like him relaying the message was awkward. You couldn't hear him. I mean, he was whispering kind of like this, and you couldn't really understand anything he was saying. And then Liv, and then Stephanie Vaquer. I had the captions on, and when I watch Raw, because my wife likes to read the subtitles on Netflix, it drives me crazy. It's one of my least favorite things.
So does my girl. Why?
Yeah,
why? You can hear
know.
why. I don't get it either. It makes me understand it better. No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
But okay.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
That's a girl thing.
I don't get it, man. But yeah, so but I didn't turn the captions off on that because I just leave them on permanently. But I had them on, and I mean, pretty much what Dom was saying is exactly what Stephanie Vaquer was saying. I mean, there was nothing in there. She didn't say anything of note. She just said that, you think you're better than me. I'm going to destroy you. You're not even all that great. It was just like it was a typical wrestling promo. So I don't understand the tears. It was a very, very bizarre segment, and then like the awkward silence afterwards with like when they come back to the ring and in the audience from like Michael Cole doesn't say anything about it. It was just like Corey Graves was like, yeah, that was a really interesting ending to the interview, and then CM Punk comes out and we move on from it. But I didn't like it at all. I thought it was a weird way. So I guess, is she choosing Stephanie now? Is that the thought process, or is she still going to go to SmackDown? How do you go on SmackDown now and get in front of Jade Cargill's face when you were just crying on Monday Night Raw? Like, I thought it made Liv look really, really weak.
From words too. So now you're gonna go stand in front of like one of the most chiseled women to ever grace God's green earth, and be like,
I'm gonna beat you at WrestleMania. Yeah, like no, you have no shot now. Like, I don't know. It just I feel like that didn't help Liv at all.
No, I thought it was really weird too. I thought it was weak, and even if she said words that were offensive, like like calling her like a cheater or like a house stealer or whatever it is, you're breaking the home, like trying to say Dominik is married in real life or anything. I didn't really get what it was gonna. I don't know. I didn't get what it was gonna accomplish. I didn't dig it at all. Another thing that I was really confused by was there was a delivery to Monday Night Raw. It was not delivered to Adam Pearce. It was just delivered to the WWE. But you have to open it on the day of Elimination Chamber, and it's a crate, a box. What's in the box? If you guys don't know what that is from, go watch a movie called Seven with Brad Pitt.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Effing awesome. I won't tell you what's in the box. Hopefully that's what's in this box. Maybe Al Snow's returning. But nonetheless, there's a crate, and everybody in the world is saying it's Chris Jericho, it's Vince McMahon. If it's a person, I'm going to go with Hornswoggle because it's always Hornswoggle. But I'm assuming that it's probably like another like Elimination Chamber box or something, so they can get Brock Lesnar in the chamber or something like that. But I guarantee you this, no matter what's in that box, Ryan, unless you tell me otherwise, it's going to let you down. So all you pro wrestling WWE fans out there listening to this podcast, do not get your hopes up. Do not hope there's no way it's a wrestler. WWE is a little bit more real than it was with Vince McMahon. We're not delivering hand babies anymore. You can't have a human sitting in a box for 2 weeks being shipped back and forth. That's not realistic. So it's going to be a non-human being. It's going to be a letdown. It might, like I said, I think it might be a coupon for 50% off WrestleMania tickets. That's how desperate they are right now. It's going to be something dumb. So just expect it to be dumb. But just like Triple H always does, it's getting us talking, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's something involving Triple H, because he's got to be at the center of it all. So it's probably like, or you know what I think it is? I think it's somebody's jacket or somebody's like robe, and it's going to be like the next Hall of Fame induction person or something.
It like could 100%. Yep.
Yeah, like Stephanie's already going into the Hall of Fame this year, so I could see it being like the robe or John Cena's "You Can't See Me" shirt or something, and John Cena's going to be the headlining induction into the main event.
That's a good
to the Hall of Fame. That's what I think. I think it's going to be something related to that, or AJ Styles going into the Hall of Fame. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there, but it's like you said, it's going to be a letdown. It's not Chris Jericho, which, even if it was, that would be stupid to put him in a box for 2 weeks and go from Raw to SmackDown, probably to NXT to the Chamber. Number two, like, why would he be in that crate? Like, number three, if it's to WWE, why is it going to the arenas? Why not go to Stanford and the headquarters?
That either, yeah.
And also, number four, like, if I got a letter that said "Do not open," And it's like the Back to the Future thing. Do not open until 1985. You know, like I'm reading that shit right now. Like I want to know what's happening. So why can't you just open it? What's going to stop you from what's going to happen if you open it? Nothing. So, but I do think it's a huge letdown. I think it's going to be. It's not Danhausen. I've seen people make that claim. Like WWE fans don't know who Danhausen is. Every time CM Punk references AEW passive aggressively, it gets no pop whatsoever from unless you're like a hardcore AEW and wrestling fan. So because of that, no one's going to know who Danhausen is. I hate to say it, but it's true. And yeah, it's going to be a letdown. I think remember the shoe promo we had with the vignette of, is it Santos Escobar? Who wears shoes like that? Oh, it's a returning, so-and-so. It's Tony D'Angelo. He's coming to the main roster.
It was a WrestleMania promo. Yeah.
It was Triple H's shoes, and it was WrestleMania. Like this, it's going to be something like that. It's going to be something completely dumb and idiotic. And I hope I'm wrong, but Triple H just doesn't have the best track record when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah, it's 100%. Well, for one, I thought Danhausen was still in AEW. He never wrestled there anyway. Who gives a shit? But nonetheless, it's either going to be a Hall of Fame inductee, like you said, or announcing WrestleMania Saudi Arabia. I don't really see anything else. That's why it's in a crate, because it had to come from afar to deliver, and they don't have addresses out there.
Or it's like a new Crown Jewel Championship, or they're going to do like the WrestleMania Championship, something stupid, or I don't know what they're doing.
Is it the Andre the Giant Battle Royal trophy?
Oh my God, maybe.
with Braun Strowman holding it. He's like, let me out. Wasn't he the last one to win it? No, I don't think so. Anyway, all right. So with that said, let us know in the comments of who you think is in the box. And a shocker, actually, at the end of the night, we had a huge main event between Javeon Evans. We had Javeon Evans versus Gunther versus Dirty Dom to see who goes into the chamber. And I think 98% of the fans thought Gunther was going to win. The other 2% thought it would be Dom. 0% thought Javeon Evans. And Javeon Evans has won. They are pushing. If Triple H is paying attention to the internet, he's certainly trying to make himself not look like a racist. I'll tell you that much. Because Carmelo Hayes is blowing up. Trick is the biggest deal going on in the WWE. Oba is fighting over who's going to sign him. And now Javeon Evans beats Gunther and Dirty Dom to move on. And look, I'm all for it. Javeon Evans is not going to win. And I don't think this is going to be his big moment either, because Montez Ford was in the Elimination Chamber and lit it up and what happened. And they're very similar in style. Javeon Evans is going to be a ton of fun. He's going to do a whole bunch of shit. He's going to fit right into I can't wait till he gets thrown through one of the pods, jumps off a pod. He's going to be the star of this show. Yes, 100%. I do wish Dom would have been in it, just for shits and giggles, just because why not? But Dom's probably going to wrestle Penta for the IC title at Elimination Chamber. I'm assuming they'll announce that next week. If not, it'll be on the Raw after. But Javeon Evans, props to him. Congrats. It was a nice shocker, not a bad shocker. And yeah, man, I think it was a cool moment. My only thing is, before you get started, is that Gunther. Let me get this straight. Gunther retires Goldberg. Gunther retires Cena. Gunther then instantly retires AJ Styles, to then instantly the same night lose in the Rumble, and then feud with Dragon Lee to then lose Elimination. So you're going to tell me the man who retired John Cena a month ago is now in a losing feud against Dragon Lee? You know how we could have got Gunther to Dragon Lee? By existing. I could wrestle Dragon Lee. You had to have him beat Gunther, or you had to have Gunther beat Cena and AJ Styles and Goldberg and retire all of them to get to Dragon fucking Lee. Excuse my language. Dragon Lee.
Made him tap. He made John Cena tap and everything too. And and then sense, Dragon Lee hits him with the ring bell, and that ruined Gunther's night. Yeah. I don't understand this wishy-washy booking with Gunther. Don't put him if you want him to feud with Dragon Lee, completely valid, completely fine. Makes sense. He was AJ Styles' tag team partner. So let him feud with him if you like a little miniature side quest type thing if you want to do that. But don't put Gunther in the Elimination Chamber qualifying match, because that's just going to hurt his momentum. This man is on top of the world right now. He made John Cena tap just a month ago. He beat AJ Styles and made him retire, and he's getting a ceremony next Monday night on Raw. And he retired Bill Goldberg, and he's cutting promos now like, I'm the career killer in the WWE, and that's not enough. I want more. And now, like, he's feuding, like you said, he's feuding with Dragon Lee. He got eliminated from the Royal Rumble, which I thought hurt him in a much bigger way than. And now I think this is hurting him too. Like, don't put him in these situations. Like, he could still be the guy. You could be building somebody else up on the side to take Gunther down, but instead you're building up Dragon Lee to take him down, and you're putting Gunther in these matches that he loses. I don't get it, man. I really don't understand what they're doing.
Either do I. And it's sad because Javeon Evans, this was a big moment for him, a surprising moment, a shocking moment, and he deserves it because it's going to get bouncy. But, man, Gunther, what the hell are we doing, Triple H? Do better.
Yeah.
Can't have him beat John Cena to do this. You could have had him beat nobody to do this. You can wrestle, like I said, right now. Dragon Lee, he's nobody. And that's no knock on Dragon Lee. It's how he's booked. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wild. All right. With that said, from Raw to NXT, and NXT was a little bit more exciting, right? It had a little bit more going for it. It was, well, sort of an up and down. It had a couple of matches that didn't really make sense, but Sol Ruca and Zaria, I don't know if we want it to end, if it's going to continue, but basically Sol Ruca is going to face off against JC Jane next week for the NXT Women's Championship. They had a face-to-face, and Fatal Influence then decided to beat up Sol Ruca, and who made the save? Zaria. We go backstage later on, and Sol Ruca's like, yo, you saved me? What's up? And she said, you know what? I watched you get beat up, and I thought you've done so much for me, and it's my fault you lost your 2 titles, and this and that, and you've helped me, and I've helped you. Let's be best friends again. And holy shit, does it not reek of betrayal? But my thing is, next week, Sol Ruca has to beat JC Jane, right? Like, she has to. You cannot. Sol Ruca, I don't care. I see people now like she's going to WWE. No. Can't go to WWE without being the NXT Women's Champion. So you're going to have Sol Ruca lose due to a betrayal of Zaria. Like, is Zaria going to turn on her? Because in my opinion, I think it makes more sense for Sol Ruca to beat JC Jane, who's had a great run. She doesn't need it anymore. She's like she's not even the main attraction anymore in the women's division. Have her lose it, and then have Zaria turn on Sol Ruca, so then she can take the title from her. Because why would she just want revenge on a non-title, right? I mean, I guess stopping her, but I feel like it's just more important to want to beat her for the title. But then that also drags it on a little bit longer. But what say you? What do you think? Do you think we're just getting it next week and it's game over? I mean, it was pretty blatantly obvious Zaria was bullshitting.
Yeah, I think Zaria is completely going. She's going to betray Sol Ruca. It's just a matter of when, not if. And honestly, I don't see it happening next week. I think what they might do is Sol Ruca wins the title, celebrates, Zaria hugs her. They're celebrating as NXT goes off the air. Great. Send the crowd home happy. And then the next week they'll do like a Sol Ruca championship celebration or something, where she'll come out and her and Zaria will celebrate in the ring. It'll be like the Festival of Friendship thing all over again.
That would be dope.
And then Zaria because Shawn Michaels likes going back to things that worked in the past. Yeah. Usually it's things that he was involved in, but he'll bring the.
Well, he was in one with Jericho too, where he got thrown through the Geritron as well.
Yeah, and so maybe they'll do something like that, where they do like a championship celebration for her first her first NXT Women's Championship, and then that's when Zaria turns on her. So I don't think it happens next week. I think it'll happen the following week on the celebration, and then that's Sol Ruca's first opponent at the next PLE, Sol Ruca versus Zaria.
See, that's how I think it should go. Do you think there's a chance, as other people are, insinuating that Sol Ruca is going to be the heel? So does she win the title and then turn on Zaria? Do they have like a Zaria like helps her win and she's like, yay, Sol Ruca, I'm so glad we're friends now. And then Sol Ruca kind of takes her out, and because that would be cool too. A double, you know what I mean? Like, because maybe Zaria did really forgive her and now she's like, let's be friends. And Sol Ruca's like, F you. You've been shitting on me this whole time. Lay you out. I won what I want.
Yeah, I mean, It would be cool, but would that make her a heel? I mean, it would make her just justified, right? Like,
yeah, right.
You've been a bitch
well,
to
Drew
me.
McIntyre's justified, and he's a heel.
No, I agree. I completely agree. But I also think the NXT
should we get
crowd
cheered?
I think the crowd loves Sol Ruca so much that it would be hard to turn her heel. I think Zaria would get the heat, so I think I'm going to stick with it that Zaria is going to be the heel.
All right. Well, somebody who sort of turned heel this week, I don't know. Miles Bourne was backstage and he was ruffling feathers and trying to get in Toothless McGee's face, so I don't know why he's getting pushed. And then basically telling Ethan Page to count his days, and then Ethan Page defends his North American title, and Miles Bourne comes out and lays him out and puts his ankle in a chair and is basically going to crush it unless Ethan Page begs and says, yes, I'll give you a title match. He grants him the title match, and Miles Bourne still breaks his ankle in a match I think is happening next week, right? Is it not next week?
I think so.
Or is it a couple? I don't know.
It might
nonetheless, well, either way, he went for the move and broke his ankles because he called another Back to the Future reference, because Ethan Page is basically like, what are you, chicken? And Miles Bourne was like, nobody
calls me chicken.
Yeah. And then by the way, is he deaf or not? Because Miles Bourne was pretty damn far away and had his back turned. And Ethan Page whispered that shit. He was like, I didn't think you'd have it in you. And Miles Bourne was like, not on my watch, and turned around. I'm like, you're in an arena. You heard that? Let's make it a little bit more realistic, friends. Is he deaf or is he not? Or was that like he was waiting for the cue? But nonetheless, he broke his ankle, and now we got like a darker Miles Bourne. I don't know. But we got Miles Bourne, Ethan Page for the North American Championship. And it kind of seems like, honestly, this is the end of Ethan Page as the champ, right? They're really pushing Miles Bourne.
To be honest, I love Ethan Page. I like what they're doing with him. He's been one of my favorites. But I think it's time we get a new North American champion. I think the world title, the NXT championship scene, needs some more contenders beyond Ricky Saints and Joe Hendry. And
Tony D.
Ethan Page and Tony D could be the perfect opportunities and the perfect people for that group. So I do think Ethan Page loses whenever he faces Miles Bourne, whether it's next week, 2 weeks from now, the pay-per-view, whenever. But I think it's because Ethan Page goes into the NXT title picture, or Ethan Page is the masked man.
Whoa, you think it's Ethan Page? There you go.
I mean, if they want to make a splash and they want to get people talking, I feel like Ethan Page is perfect for that.
Yeah, it could be you, for crying out loud. They don't. Who knows? I don't even know if they know.
I don't think they probably don't. Yeah.
They don't. No, Triple H doesn't know shit. Anyway, all right. So that's our WWE week in review. Like we said, we did Raw and NXT. SmackDown is on our past episodes. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out and listen to that. And now, Ryan, it is time for our weekly segment, and that is the LVD and MVD of the week, where we do our best and worst booked wrestlers, and we hate or love them. It just means they were the best or worst booked. Ryan, who is your LVD of the week?
I'm actually going to stick with NXT. I'm going to go with somebody we haven't talked about, and it's a Dudette, and it's somebody that pains me to do this, and I love her so much. She's gorgeous. She's fantastic, but this was a how the mighty have fallen moment for me, and it is one Blake Monroe, because she, like, this girl came from AEW Women's Champion, one of the best wrestlers that AEW had, one of the biggest signings that NXT had. Fantastic moment, fantastic debut. Everything was incredible. She wins the NXT Women's North American Championship. She goes heel. She does all these great things. And now, like, there were rumors just a few weeks ago that she was poised to join the main roster. She was going to be called up to the main roster with Obafemi and the rest of the NXT people. And instead, they're going to keep her in NXT, which is okay, great. Keep her there. We're going to put the title on her, right? Well, yes, kind of, because they're going to put the speed title on her. She's going for the speed title, the title that nobody gives a shit about in NXT. And I hate it for her so much, because this is, again, it's how the mighty have fallen. She got up to such an incredible start. And if anybody can make that championship, it is Blake Monroe. But man, like, that broke my heart to see her competing for the speed title of all titles.
And wasn't she just in a losing feud with Jada Parker too? And now she's just like one of this. And nonetheless, brother, she's not even up for a speed title. She's in a qualifier to earn a speed champion. And that she's probably going to lose to Thea Hale with help of Jada Parker. So she's probably not even going to get there, dude. Yeah, that's well said. It was a pretty, and she's the most gorgeous woman in NXT, one of her and Sol Ruca, and she's just Kalani Jordan too. Actually, there's a lot, but nonetheless, dude, she's got the total package, and she's out here like, I don't know. She's, in my opinion, Toni Storm, Britt Baker, Mariah May, 3 biggest females of all time in AEW, all time, all 3 of them. And you have her basically being like a mediocre mid-card female wrestler in NXT. Wild.
Yeah, wild, of all places. Yeah, wild. Doesn't make any sense. She's so much better than that. So much better than that.
So much. All right, my LVD of the week is 2 people, 2 dudes, and not us, 2 other dudes, and that's the Usos. 4 letters, 1 word. Yeah. These dudes are the tag team champions who never defend their tag team titles. These dudes are someone where Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso literally had a conversation about what's the most important thing moving forward, and Jimmy said, you winning the Elimination Chamber, didn't give 2 shits about the tag team titles. These are 2 dudes who everyone thought, oh, it's because Jimmy's going to deal with his wife having a baby, but he keeps appearing on Monday Night Raw. So obviously that's not the reason. And 3 who came down to an intro and had to stand awkwardly in the audience while people moved on from them, or Ryan didn't even notice they existed. And then Jimmy took the pin and they lost as the tag team champions in a triple threat match. These guys had a huge miss week. I don't know what when the Usos won the tag team titles, I was the first person to say congratulations. Everybody was shitting on it. I was so excited. And I said, finally, we're going to get those tag team champions running again. They're just like with Charlotte and Bliss. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Here come the women's tag team division. That didn't happen. This didn't happen. I think it's time for the WWE, honestly, Ryan, to get rid of the tag team titles. They're pointless. All divisions. Yeah. If you're never going to care about it, get rid of it and just have tag team matches when you want it for feuds and so on. But the tag team titles are pointless if you're never going to defend them. That's just my take. And it ain't a hot take, homie.
And look at who they're defending against. I mean, last week it was Tozawa and Otis.
And that's it. That's all, right?
The week before, the War Raiders got completely destroyed by Obafemi by himself. So I completely agree, man. The Usos did not have the best week this week. It was not like you said. I thought them winning the tag team titles was going to be good for them and for the tag division, and it's been nothing but miss after miss after miss. And whatever happened to Jimmy turning on Jay, or Jay turning on Jimmy, or Jay crashed out a couple of months ago after losing the world heavyweight title, and we all thought Jimmy was going to turn heel and he was going to join the Vision. Whatever happened to all that? Like, Triple H always starts these stories and then never really gives them a proper conclusion. So another mighty have fallen moment for WWE with the Usos.
For sure. All right, let's end on a high note. MVD of the week. Let's go, Ryan. Who do you got?
It's CM Punk. I mean, he cut a great promo on Raw again. The guy is proven it time and time again that he is the best in the world. I like what he did this week, where he talked about Finn Balor he agreed with Finn Balor that Finn Balor is the best in the world. But then he was like, but you did it by yourself. The Judgment Day is your crutch. The Judgment Day is holding you back. You need to get rid of him. And then, JD McDonough trying to get after him, and just, he turns his back on him. And it was a cool segment. But I think CM Punk just continues to proving it week in and week out on the microphone, in the ring, that he is that dude.
Well said. Good choice. I'm going a different route. I'm going with the guy who shocked the world, and that's Javeon Evans.
That's a good one,
advancing to the Elimination Chamber, beating Gunther and Dominik Mysterio when you just got called up from NXT and all your gimmick is bouncy. And I wonder if it was because of what Kevin Nash said. And Triple H was like, all right, Kevin, we're boys, but I'll show you that this guy is not who you're saying he is.
That was
racist kind of way. I don't know I don't know if that dude's losing his mind or not, but nonetheless, Javeon Evans, huge win. My MVD definitely for this week at WWE.
Yeah, it's a solid pick, and that was an L take by Kevin Nash. And I know we named our podcast after 2 dudes with attitudes, with Kevin Nash being one of them and Shawn Michaels being the other. not a good take from Kevin Nash. And yeah, it was sad to hear that. Really, really sad. But shout out to Javeon, man. He brought it. He looked great. And yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, he's going to stand out and be a big star in the chamber for sure.
He is, man. The last 8 years made some people go crazy, my friend. Makes us who we really are. But there you go, everybody. That is our WWE weekend review. As always, thank you for tuning in. Hit up those comments. Let us know. Like, and give us some follows if you haven't already, or subscribe. As always, you can check me out at my_wrestling_opinion on all your social media if you just want to hear me talk about pro wrestling. And with me, as always, is
Ryan enjoys wrestling on all the social media platforms, so go follow me there. We are on TikTok at 2 Dudes with Attitudes. We're on Instagram at 2 Dudes with Attitudes Podcast, Twitch at 2 Dudes_with Attitudes, and X at 2 Dudes PC. So go follow us on all those social platforms, and then subscribe to our YouTube channel. For whatever reason, the last couple of weeks, our videos have been taken off. We've gained 18 or 20 subscribers over the last 2 weeks. We're growing up over on YouTube. So follow us over there at 2 Dudes with Attitudes. And then if you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, we appreciate all the love and support. We're in the top 10% of all listened to wrestling podcasts. Help us get into that top 5%, that top 1%. The way to do that is to leave 5-star ratings and reviews, subscribing, doing all that fun stuff, and showing your support for the best unknown wrestling podcast out there. But I was serious at the beginning of the year when I said we're blowing this thing up in 2026. And so far, the algorithm's been good to us, and we're going to keep this momentum going for the rest of the year, for sure.
Yes, sir. 2 Dudes Wolfpack. We out.
2 dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the 2 dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast, shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the 2 dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah.